Happy Halloween! Today we're going to celebrate by doing puzzle number 16 in the Fiendish Logic Puzzle book from Puzzle Baron and Stephen P. Ryder called Haunted Houses. We have 7 different haunted houses on 7 different streets, haunted by 7 different ghosts. And they were all found in or visited in 7 different months. 1 month apart. March, April, May, June, July. All right. And our ghost hunter is named Priscilla. That's why you're going to see that name somewhere in here. And all these are in the town of Groundwood Park. Great. Priscilla visited the house on Haley Street, which isn't haunted by Jeffrey. Where's my thing? Okay, Haley Square. Oh, isn't haunted by Jeffrey. Uh-huh. 4 months after she saw Balfern. Okay, so it's all Haley Square. Also isn't Balfern. Oh, Balfern is the house. So Balfern, the house, is not on Haley Square. It's also Haley Square 4 months after. So if Balfern was the first house she visited, the earliest she could have saw the house on Haley Square is 4 months after that, which would be May. And if Haley Square was the last, the latest she could have seen Balfern is 4 months before that in March. Of Stockford and the house Priscilla saw in March. That means Stockford wasn't in March. One was on Grant Place, the other was haunted by Brunhilde. So Grant Place is not Brunhilde. There we go, Brunhilde. The home haunted by Abigail wasn't located on Eagle Street. The building on Grant Place was investigated 4 months before Barn Hill. Okay. So if Grant Place was the first, Barn Hill would be May. And if Barn Hill was the last, the latest Grant Hill could be is March. We remember this. So Barn Hill can't be Grant Place. And let's take a quick second to write out some relationships because okay. So first we have Balfern. And 4 months after that we have Haley Square. And then we have Grant Place. For Barn Hill. Is it possible that Haley Square is Barn Hill and Balfern is Grant Place? It's possible. Oh, no, wait. No, it is possible. You know, they didn't have to put Barn Hill and Balfern right next to each other. I mean, I think it's alphabetical, but none of these places are real. None of these names are real. Okay. Of the 2 homes haunted by Tarleton and Joffrey, that's great. We have 2 in the same category. One was visited in July, and the other was Hughenden. Okay. So this tells us that July can only be Tarleton or Jeffrey. And the same goes for Hughenden. Hughenden can only be... There it is. Only be... Tarleton or Jeffrey. Okay. And of course, July can't be Hughenden. Victor haunts a home on either Bird Road or 5th Avenue. Okay. Okay, we have a list clue, and it's a complete list. That's great. So we have the one haunted by Francis. There we go. The building on 5th Avenue, Downsell, and the 4 homes from February, May, June, and July. Okay? So Downsell can't be February, May, June, or July. Neither can 5th Avenue. Neither can Francis. Downsell can't be Francis or Fifth Avenue, and Fifth Avenue can't be Francis. Okay. July is not Eagle Street. I have a feeling July is going to get pretty narrowed down. Okay, of Fletcher Rise and the home on Grant Place. So Fletcher Rise is not on Grant. One is haunted by Francis. The other was visited in February. We already know Francis isn't visited in February. Can't be visited in February because it's on the list. They're both on the list. So that tells us that Fletcher Rise and Grant Place are both already on the list. They either have to be Francis or in February, so they can't be anything else on the list. So, for example, Fletcher Rise can't be Fifth Avenue, or May, June, July, either February, or it's Francis, who can't be any of those months. And Grant Place, similarly, can't, well, did I say it couldn't be? Yes. Grant Place can't be Downsell. Good. Okay. Grant Place already can't be May, June, July. Lovely. Barnhill isn't on Circle Drive. Downsell is haunted by either Jeffrey or Victor. Except, let's see. Well, okay, I'll do that first. Downsell is Jeffrey or Victor. But Jeffrey, I know we already saw Downsell somewhere. Well, it was on the list. Okay. So Jeffrey has to either be July or Hughenden. So if it was, Downsell was Jeffrey, it couldn't be Hughenden. It'd have to be July, and Downsell can't be July, and it obviously can't be Hughenden, so Downsell can't be Jeffrey, it must be Victor. So Downsell is Victor. That means Victor is found on our list. Let me also narrow him down a bit first. The building haunted by Lady Grey was either visited in January or Mark Manor. So Mark Manor can't be January. Oh, look at this. Mark Manor is either March or July. Mark Manor is March or July. So if Lady Grey is either January or Mark Manor, she has to either be January, March, or July. And she already can't be July because July has to be either Tarleton or Jeffrey. Okay. And May was not Stockford. I already have that March can't be Stackford. Why is that? Oh, yeah, some column there too. All right, that's our first round. Nothing to add to the chart yet, but still very good. Let's start back at the top. Okay. Priscilla saw the house on Haley Square 4 months after she saw Balfern. Very good. Trying to see if I can clean up the board a little bit. So Downsell can't be Haley Square. That's something. And Barnhill can't be Grant Place. No, we got that. Okay. Of Stockford and the house Priscilla saw in March, one was on Grant Place, the other is haunted by Brunhilde. Okay, let's see. So we just eliminated Stockford for May, and on that note, so Grant Place has to be either March, or any month Stockford could be, which at this point is just anything but March or May. So Grant Place can't be May, but we already have that. And Brunhilde can't be May either. For the same reason. Okay, Abigail is not on Eagle Street. Oh, Stockford cannot be July because July can't be Grant Place or Brunhilde. Right? Right. I'm double checking the thing on Brunhilde. It says Brunhilde can't be. Oh yeah, because July can only be. Yeah, so Stockford can't be July either. So right now July is either Barnhill or Mark Manor, and Jeffrey or Tartan. Okay. Speaking of Barnhill, the Grant Place was investigated 4 months before that. Of the two homes haunted by Tarleton and Jeffrey, one is July, the other is Hughenden. Okay. Victor is either Bird Road or 5th Avenue. The 7 houses are Francis, 5th Avenue, down south, February, May, June, July. And July is not Eagle Street. Got that? Okay. Of Fletcher Rise and Grant Place. One is Francis, the other is February. Oh yeah, excuse me. Victor is downsell, so he cannot be 5th Avenue. Victor must be Bird Road. Must be Bird Road. Lovely. Bird Road is found from the list. Oh, pardon me. Goes right there. Lovely. So, of Fletcher Rise and Grant Place, one is Francis, the other was visited in February. So, Fletcher Rise, just an example, this also applies to Grant Place, has to either be haunted by Francis or any ghost who could have haunted in February, which excludes Lady Grey and Victor. So, those two ghosts can't be Fletcher Rise or Grant Place. Well, Victor definitely, so, because he's somewhere else, but, Grant Place. Grant Place has to be Francis or February. So Grant Place can't be Victor. We got that. That's Bird Road. Well, we said Lady Grey can't be Fletcher Rise, and she can't be Grant Place because she can't be February, and she obviously can't be Francis. Barnhill isn't on Circle Drive. Did we get that one? Yes. Lady Grey was either the home Priscilla visited in January or it's Mark Manor. And Lady Grey, once again, Mark Manor is March or July, and she already couldn't be July because July could only be Jeffrey or Tartan. So Lady Grey is March, and Mark Manor or January. So not Barnhill for one. Mark Manor, Scotford, or Balfern. Stockford, I mean. What did I say? Scotford? Well, let's see. Could Stockford be Lady Grey? It has to either be Grant Place or Brunhild. Lady Grey obviously can't be Brunhild. Could she be Grant Place? No, we just figured that out because Grant Place... Oh, yeah, Grant Place must be Francis or February. Lady Grey can't be February. So Lady Grey can't be Stockford. That reminds me, let's write out the relationships for Grant Place, because right now it's Stockford or March, and it's Francis or February. Now, unfortunately, I guess it's possible that Francis could be Stockford, right? So we can't say for sure that it has to be March or February, although it certainly looks like that. The only other option would be January, and it could be possible. Could be possible that Stockford and Francis are both January. Yes. But Grant Place has to be Francis, or anyone that could be February. And Lady Grey can't be February because she has to be Mark Manor or January, and Mark Manor is March or July. So she can't be February, and she obviously couldn't be Francis. That's why she can't be Grant Place. And she can't be Brunhild, so she couldn't be Stockford. So Lady Grey is either Balfern or Mark Manor. Where was I? Okay, let's start at the top. Priscilla visited the house on Haley Square 4 months after Balfern. How about this idea? Haley Square can only be May, June, or July. Same for Barnhill, but we'll get to that in a minute. Can only be May, June, and July. Those are all on the list. So Haley Square cannot be Francis. It also couldn't be Down Cellar, Fifth Avenue, but obviously Haley Square couldn't be Fifth Avenue. And Down Cell's already found, it's Victor. So that's something. Same thing for Barnhill. That can only be May, June, July. So that one can't be Francis. It also cannot be Fifth Avenue. Interesting. Stockford and the house from March, which is at this point anything but Barn Hill. One was on Grant Place, the other was haunted by Brunhilde. So March has to either be, oh, look at this. I realized that Stockford couldn't be Lady Grey down here, but by the same logic, March can't be Lady Grey because she can't be on Grant Place and she's not Brunhilde. So she can't be March. That means she must be January and not Mark Manor. Where was that? In January. Good. Lovely. Right, and Victor was Bird Drive, down south. Very good. Okay. And down here, Lady Grey could only be, couldn't be Stockford. Lady Grey. I have that Lady Grey could only be Balfern or Mark Manor. Can't be Mark Manor, so she would have to be Balfern. And I'm just double checking my logic because Lady Grey had to either be January or Mark Manor. And I have that she couldn't be Fletcher Rise or Hewenden. Not that I don't believe myself, I'm just, oh yeah. Hewenden couldn't be her. Fletcher Rise had to be Francis or February. So, and the rest can line up. Yep, so we got our Balfern in January, and 4 months later is Haley Square. 2, 3, 4, Haley Square in May, so I'll knock it off. Oops, wrong one. Now, I want to look at the list for number 7, even though I know there's more we could do. So, Lady Grey is not Francis, it's not Downsell, it's Balfern, and it's not February, May, June, or July, it's January. Therefore, the only thing on the list it could be is 5th Avenue. So we have Lady Grey, and we have 5th Avenue. Very good, our first complete set. Okay, great. Lovely. Okay, where were we? Charge a line. Okay. So Grant Place and Brunhilde share March and Stockford. Oh, Grant Place is 4 before Barn Hill. 1, 2, no. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't be May. That means May has to be Hewenden. Wrong color. May is Hewenden, which is Haley Square. Hewenden, which is Jeffrey or Tartan. And Jeffrey can't be Haley Square. Yes, so it must be Tarleton. Good, so we have another full set. So Hewenden is Tarleton on Haley Square. Now we got a lot of X's to draw. Good. Anything else needs to be X'd out? Great. Good. All right. this is, yes, before Barn Hill. So Tarleton is May, not July. So Tarleton is Hughenden, and that means Jeffrey has to be July. So that means Jeffrey goes here in July. Also means he's found, because July is one of the months. Oh, okay. So Francis and Victor now can only be March and April, both of them. So no one else can take March or April. Those are taken. And that leaves Abigail and Brunhilde for June and February. And Brunhilde is March or Stockford. So now Brunhilde can't be March. She must be Stockford. That means Grant Place is March. Grant Place is March. And 4 months after Grant Place is Barn Hill. So we have our Barn Hill. That's Jeffrey. And March becomes Mark Manor, which works out. Now Downsell becomes April, which is Victor, and Bird Road. And Fletcher Rise is February, which means Grant Place is Francis. I think we already figured that out. Grant Place is Francis. If we'd crossed out the X, it would have been figured out. Stockford, April. And finally, Stockford is June. And that is Brunhilde. So Abigail is February. Great, we have all of our manors, our houses, and all of our ghosts. And now all we need is a few more street names, so Barn Hill isn't Circle Drive. That means it has to be Darby Lane. Okay, where's the one about Eagle Street? Abigail is not Eagle Street. And Darby Lane just got taken. And Grant's Place was already taken, so she must be Circle Drive. And then finally, all that's left is Eagle Street for Stockford. So we have everything. Let's go. In January, we have Balfern. I think that's my favorite of the names. On 5th Avenue. And Lady Grey. February, Fletcher Rise. On Circle Drive. With Abigail. Then on March we have Mark Manor. Very fitting. Mark. Grant Place. And Francis. April we have Downsell. On Bird Road. Our first full set. But nothing was put on the chart. And Victor. Then we have, in May, we have Hughenden and Haley Square, and with Tarleton. June is Stockton, Stockford, Eagle Street, and Brunhilde. And finally, in July, we had Barn Hill on Darby Lane, and Jeffrey. Let's check our work in the back of the book. All right. Balfern, Fletcher Rise, Mark Manor, Downsell, Hewenden, Stockford, Barnhill, good. Fifth Avenue, Circle Drive, Grant Place, Bird Road, Haley Square, Eagle Lane and Derby, good. Finally, Lady Gray, Abigail Francis, Victor Tarleton, Brunhilde, and Jeffrey. You got them all. Thank you all. All right, now I'm going to quickly clean up the rest of the board, and I'm going to use this extra time to thank everyone so much for watching this video. I'm going to wish you all a happy Halloween. What are you going as for Halloween if you are? I bought a dress to be Ragatha from the Amazing Digital Circus. Something you should definitely watch on YouTube once you've finished watching all of my videos. Jeffrey. Right place, Francis. Okay, Francis. And voila! Thanks for watching and happy Halloween!